Hello everybody, this is Stacey. I am really hoping this is working. This is my first time doing it in this special little event area. So I'm going to pull me up on our Facebook page. There I am. That is a good thing. Oh my goodness. I hope everyone is well. Thank you if anyone, I can't see if anyone is joining me yet. I just hope I'm in the, oh, I see people. Hello, Janice. Hello, Alicia, Marilyn, Huguette. I see a few other people that I can't see your names. I'm excited to be here with you for this crafty hour. Hello, Julie. Hello, Ling. I might be right on time. Whew. It is kind of a cloudy day, but it's lovely. It's not too hot. I hope everyone is doing well. In case you have not joined us for one of these, this is actually my first time as well. So I hope I do okay here. If you haven't joined us for a crafty hour, it's literally just that. We are going to craft together. You do not have to craft. You do not have to make what I'm making here. If you would just like to join along and maybe you have some stuff on your table that you've been working on and we can do it together, that would be lovely. This is the kit that we sold from Impression Obsession. So if you do have that, let me grab my little sheet of paper. It came in a little package that looked like this. So if you have this and you want to play along, grab it out. I did post a little supply list on the page. This video will be saved, so don't stress. If you just want to putter around with me, that would be great too. I will be doing some coloring with these lovely creatures. This is the Spectrum Noir Aqua Blend watercolor pencils. I was fortunate enough to get my hands on all of these sets. Ugh. It's been smushed, so look at that. I had a lot of fun with these. So if you have these, maybe you've purchased some, we sold a whole bunch, or maybe you have another brand, or maybe you like to color using another means of adding color to your stamps. Could be your distress inks, it could be anything, right? So grab all your stuff. I am going to start off with this card. These are just two cards I'll explain later. We're going to make two cards, or I am. And if you want to play along, you certainly can. I'm working with limited space here. So right now, I'm going to set these aside. And we are going to focus on this card first, okay? So what I did just to save some time was, because we do have an hour and sometimes I can be a little talkative and maybe a little slower than I should be, which I'm working on. We're going to work on this card. So grab your kit if you have one. I will post the measurements of these cards that I've made and everything after the video. So if you're going to play along later, if you have the kit, everything's all done for you, which is super lovely. It spoils us a great deal. So these are the pieces. This is the card that we'll be making. And we'll do a little grab our card base, which Impression Obsession has been so kind and basically done all the work for us. So I have my card base, And I am going to oh my gosh. We are going to be using this stamp set. So grab out this one. Actually, it's not a set, it's just one. And I just grabbed a block. I don't have my stamp platform. I thought I'd go quick and simple. So this is the stamp that we're using. It creates these adorable little ornaments. So grab that, strap it onto your block or onto your platform, whatever you stamp with, and then you will see a piece of the tan paper that's just that shape. It fits ever so snugly in your red piece of cardstock. Okay, so that's one piece. And then I thought I'd get a little fancy, and you can do this as well. Maybe you have your big shot. It was kind of a last minute decision. On the sample, you can see that it is flat, which is lovely too. I thought I'd kick it up a notch, and so I embossed it. It's a lighter weight paper, so just be careful. This was a pretty deep emboss. I'm quite surprised that I didn't damage the paper. So when it's super thin and you're going to do a deep emboss, often you will want to maybe spritz your paper. Just be really careful, or sometimes you really should just select a heavier weight cardstock. But this is, so you should have a red piece that fits very nicely into this cream color. So we're going to get those. And then we have this piece of cream that fits nicely into the red. And then, where is my ribbon? Then we have a piece of ribbon. And it is not cut for you. So what I'm going to have you do is, you should have quite a length of ribbon. We gave you lots. You are going to cut it just so it lays right across your front of your card. It's up to you. I left my little tails. We'll do that in a moment. I left my tails dangling a little bit. I like that. You don't want to use up everything you have necessarily, because Courtney, I forgot, I was going to say hello to Courtney, and I hope she's feeling better. She was supposed to be joining me today as well, but she will be doing her crafty hour on Tuesday. So all is not lost. We wish Courtney well and hope she's taking good care. So you'll want to keep some of your other card supplies for her, or maybe cut up the same pieces. Maybe you want to kick it up a notch and add some pattern paper. You will see, she will reveal what she's creating on Tuesday. So we need this ribbon. And I've got my stamp on my platform, or on my little block there. We can go ahead and start assembling. So I'm going to place my card out of my way here. And we all know how to do this. I'm just going to use my tape runner. Because this is embossed, maybe I might use Sookwang if I was going to be doing a lot of layers. We've just got a teeny little border there. When I embossed this, I thought, ooh, that needs a little something. So I always have this sitting right next to me. I have a lovely little assortment of waxes. They are one of my favorite materials. And I just put a little bit on my finger, and it's such a lovely deep emboss. I'm just literally gliding very lightly. I'm not smushing, because then you'll have it everywhere, and it won't be as much of a highlight. So I literally just put a little bit on my finger And I'm really just highlighting those beautiful deep details there. Okay, so it adds a little something. If you're worried with this product, some people will scoop a little bit out with a palette knife or something and work on it. It is kind of a bad habit because your fingers are dirty and whatever. But this is from Sizzix. It's their luster wax. It's a lovely product. And I just thought it gave it a little something extra. And then we have, I'm just going to wipe my finger or else everything will have a little bit of gold on it. Usually I'm wearing an apron and I'm constantly wiping on my apron. So I'm going to stick this together. We are going to stamp. I love this kit from Impression Obsession. I love it. It is a wonderful set. So it's all of this fun business here. And I really like this one. It's probably not very easy to see. It's Have a Joyous Christmas Season. There's also one that says Happy Holidays. There's a to and from. It's a really great set. So I'm going to stamp. I don't know about you guys, whenever I'm at home, I always, when I'm stamping something, I always stand up and do it because I swear my brain is just ever so slightly crooked on its own. So let's cross our fingers and hope I do this in a straight manner. I'm gonna put that on there. This is the ink that I used for this project, for these cards. It is from Pink Fresh. It's their Detail Black. Most importantly, whenever you're going to be watercoloring or coloring using water, maybe with your inks or anything with water or alcohol markers, you really want to make sure that your ink pad is compatible. So important. I know it's really, you get excited in the heat of the moment and you grab an ink. If you are adding water to your project, you have to make sure it's compatible. So this is a great ink pad. It is compatible. It says watercolor friendly. And so I'm just going to, you know what? I'm gonna stand up. And it's going to the bottom of my card. Oh, and I rocked it a little bit. Ooh, yay! That is not perfect, but either am I, so it has a touch of personal character in there. Okay, folks, so let's put that aside. I am going to put my top back on my ink pad. And now if you have not grabbed it yet, you want to grab out this adorable little, it's a little ornament. It has a lovely little, cord on it. It has a really cute little bow. And I will show you how I added a little bit of something extra to it. It needed a little bit of a pick-me-up. I won't lie, when I saw it, I thought maybe I'll stamp again and I'll cut it out. And then calm heads prevailed and I thought, no, you cannot do that. That would be insanity. So what I'm going to have you do, you are going to ink and you are going to stamp. So we are literally going to stamp. And I did 5, as is shown on the sample. So they did 5 as well. And you want to do, I always find it's it's better to do 5, better to do those odd numbers instead of having 6. It's something about, it pleases the eye when it's uneven. So my suggestion, I will admit, I did this twice. You want to make sure that you're starting over far enough. First one I did, and I didn't stress that this wasn't perfect. I will admit part of my brain tells me, okay, get out a grid, let's measure and figure it out. No, I don't have time for that. And I don't mind that it's not perfect. It's okay. So start over far enough, and we're staggering, right? So we have one lower, one a little bit higher, one lower, and so on. Maybe you want them all even. Go for it. You are creating your own little work of art here. So I'm going to get you to stamp those. And one thing that I always have whenever I'm stamping, there's a few things that I always have. One of them is some sort of black fine liner. I tend to have some Sharpies on hand. They've got a really nice tip. I know there are zig markers that are the same, that sort of thing. This is my boo-boo fixer. And sometimes, in this case, our little string is not long enough, so we have to fake it. So that's what I did here. You can see, so once I stamped, you know what? I'm going to stick this down. And there is nothing complicated about this card. These cards that I'm going to be showing you are those cards that are quick and easy and great to have around, especially during the holiday season. So maybe you're going to a party now that we can do those things more often. Maybe there's a birthday close to Christmas and you're bringing a little gift to somebody. So what I will often do is I'll have my black pen, and this only works if I'm stamping in black. And I'm going to take my ruler and I'm just gonna fake this. Oh, and my pen. It helps that your pen is not near death. I might have brought my dead pen. And I'm going to extend my strings here. This also helps if you've made a boo-boo. So maybe you were stamping and I've got shaky hands. Maybe you missed a little bit. Maybe your hand wobbled a little bit. So I find these pens exceptionally handy. Maybe part of my ribbon. It's just one little thing and I can fake it, right? I can make it look perfect. So that is that. I'm going to save the coloring until the last. Now we have our little ribbon. Like I said, I cut my ribbon so it is just dangling ever so slightly off of my card. So it's about 5 3/4. And I just cut the little swallow's tail, or I've heard it a few different. Do you ever cut this the wrong way? I've had them where it's kind of like a bad haircut, where you've cut your own bangs and you cut it the wrong way and then you have to cut it again, and oh dear. So just like that. And I am going to foam tape this up. Where is my foam tape? How can I lose things so quickly? Here it is. So I'm going to foam tape this up. That is, of course, up to you. When you're making Christmas cards, it's really important to think, who am I sending this to? Am I sending it to Grandma in the UK? Am I sending it to my friend across the world? So I'm going to have to mail it. That is certainly something. Every year I hear horror stories from our customers. It costs me $10 to mail this card to wherever. So you really do want to think, when you're creating these cards, we all know Deanna's cards are beautiful and they're high. There's a lot of dimension. Maybe you want to knock it down a notch if you're shipping them. It's something to think about. Okay. So I am going to attach this to the front of my card. Hopefully that's straight. So it looks a little bit different. And then I am going to, that is good. I always check to see, do I have to trim it? Nope, I am good. I am going to, I did this flat. That was just where my brain went. I thought, you know what, there's quite a bit that is popped up here. And because I have, if I was at home, I might be a little more careful with my tape. But I don't want to keep you sitting here watching me apply double-sided tape, right? But because I'm using something that's a bit more sturdy, because I've created some challenges here for adhesive. Anytime you create any bumps and lumps, that means that air can get in there and adhesive all of a sudden becomes a little bit of a challenge. And I'm just going to stick this right in the center. It's essentially just kind of right in the center and tip to tip there, okay? And when we're done coloring this, I am going to pop this up. I am first going to attach my ribbon. And I'm just going to do that with my double-sided tape. And ribbon is one of those kind of challenging items sometimes. And I'm just going to put this, I just eyeball it, just like the sample. And I'm going to smush that out like that. And this is going to sit over here while we wait, okay? So now we get to do some of the fun business. We get to pretend like we're back in kindergarten and we can do some coloring. So maybe you have some of these watercolor crayons. Maybe you don't. There is no rule here. So essentially what we're doing is a watercolor. I have my water brush, and if you don't own one of these, I urge you to. It has a reservoir. You can fill it with water, and then there's no There's just so much. So it's so much easier than having my pot of water and a paintbrush, and you kind of get spoiled, right? So I'm going to have that on standby. Maybe you have distress inks that you want to use. Whatever will get the color there. There's nothing that's better than the other. It's all personal preference. I'm going to, so these are from Spectrum Noir. I know we showed them during a video, so I'm not going to go on and on about them, but they are a really wonderful product. They are watercolor pencils. They come in their own little container, which I really appreciate. Mine, I smushed it a little bit. If you have pencils like this, keep them in the lovely little container, because what we don't want to happen is for these to be rolling around in something, in some sort of pot or a bag. Maybe you've got this cute bag that you like. You don't want to break any of that pigment anywhere along here, because then you're going to have to keep sharpening and you're wasting your product. So just keep it in, if it comes in a lovely tin like this, score, right? So keep it in there. I think, so this is the essentials. I'm going to use the essentials. And I am not a watercolor artist. I just love playing around. So there's no real, don't stress out about it. I'm going to mimic what I did at home. And so what I do is, and you don't want to be pressing in, you don't want it to feel like you are going to be breaking your pencil tip. And I'm just going to, I kind of go like this. And I might do it a little bit darker in certain areas. Kind of mimicking whatever the stamp is showing us there. And then I've got my water pencil, or my water brush. And I'm just going to pull this color around my stamped image. Really trying not to go wild and go outside the lines, but it's okay. And I'm not trying to be too fancy here. I just want to add some color. And typically I will have my cloth, but the nice thing is I just usually squirt some of the water out, and I'm just cleaning that brush nib. And I am going to select another color. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm gonna go a little bit deeper there. And I do like to have my heat tool, especially if I'm doing, see, I smudged that a little bit. I don't have my heat tool handy, but often what I'll do is I'll just give it a little dry with my heat tool, because you really don't want, and yeah, I'm a lefty, we drag. And I'm just gonna go around hands are a little bit shaky today. And there is something that I'll show you. I don't know if it's, I don't want to say legal because we're talking about crafts here, but you can pick the color. So let's say this has dried. Just gonna give it a little bit of a pick me up there. Let's say this is, actually I'm gonna go in with yellow. So let's say I wanted to add a little bit. You want to be really careful when you're doing this. You don't want to get this really wet. So I've done that. I'm gonna let it dry now. But I picked it right off of, sometimes maybe I missed a couple spots, or maybe I want to highlight in with a bit of a hit of that color again. So I picked it directly off of the pencil. So that is an option. Sometimes you just really, if you're going to do that, let it dry. I'm gonna go, actually no. I'm gonna do blue. So I hope some of you are coloring along with me. And this is just really, often I'll just follow. Anyone can do this. We're literally just laying down the color, and then we're taking our water and we're just feathering, fanning that color out. And it would be the same if I was using my, I could use my Pink Fresh ink pads. I could use my Distress ink pads. You never want to, and then I'm just gonna clean that out because it's okay. My brushes are often a little bit stained, but we just wanna make sure we're not contaminating colors. So if you're going to do this with your ink pads, never put your pen on your ink pad. Grab a piece of plastic, some sort of, you know, your craft mat, apply the ink to that and pick it up that way, okay? It's bad news. Bad news. Never touch your ink pad with a wet brush or something. And I'm just gonna go a little darker. So I did that with a bit of a lighter, and I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna be wild and crazy. I'm gonna go in with a bit of a different color in here. And you could have lots of fun. Do all of this, add some glossy accents or the glaze and glue from Spellbinders. And I'm not adding a lot of water here. And just because I don't have all the time in the world, what I have often done is go back in, and maybe I want to add some deeper shading. And we're just gonna clean that. Oh goodness, what color? I'm gonna go, ooh. I'm gonna go a little wild and crazy and add this fun green. So I'm just outlining. Okay, we are almost done here. And I'm just gonna drag that around a little bit. It's so satisfying. There's something so satisfying about coloring and adding the water and okay. So I could spend the next half an hour talking about all the ways to zhuzh this up a little bit, right? We could add glitter. We could add, I made this little stocking and I have some of my fluffy, it's the Flower Soft. So I just added that on for a little bit of furry, crystally fun. There's so many fun accents that we have. So it's really great. I love Christmas because I'm not a huge glittery person. My mother-in-law is probably thinking in her head, you should be, because glitter is amazing. So many people love glitter. I wanted to, so I'll show you a couple things that I did here. I just wanted to make these ribbons pop a little bit. So I have my Posca paint pen. This is gold. I don't know if anyone else has them. They're wonderful. I kind of forget about them sometimes. And it's just a really great, it's a beautiful gold ink. It's got a little bit of metallic. And I did the tops of the little ornament balls here because it just needed a little something. I didn't want to go crazy. Sometimes we buy these pens and we think, oh, they're awesome, and then they just sit there, which is really sad. So you can see it's a very simple, hopefully you can see that. It's just a very simple little addition, but it just picks it up a little bit. And maybe it's something you have, or so any sort of metallic paint pen, metallic ink pen. I find at Christmas I sit and I'm making cards and I start looking around my supplies and it's like, what can I add to this? A little bit off script there. Okay, so that was just a little something. And then I thought, so there's a couple different things that we could do here. We've always got this is the Aqua Shimmer. So it's a glitter gloss from Nuvo. And it just comes out, and make sure that this is really, it's kind of dangerous. I live on the edge a little bit because this is a watercolor. So make sure it's dry. And I'm just going and just highlighting a little bit. And you can see here, it's dried. It's not an in-your-face sort of glitter. It's a lovely product. It's literally just a glossy, very much like the water pen, but it's filled with a beautiful glossy substance. Nuvo Glitter Gloss. And it comes 2 to a pack. They're $12.99. If you don't have them, you're going to want to add them to your little Christmas or your little card making stash, I think. It's kind of one of those things you don't have to be super duper into glitter. It's just that little extra. Another option is to take whatever glue pen you like. And I'm just going to follow some of the elements in my stamp. It's kind of those areas where maybe they're indicating that there's a bit of a shadow, that sort of thing. So I'm just going in, just with my glue pen. Oop. Put the little topper on it. And it's just one of the quickie glue pens, whatever floats your boat. And this is some of the, this just came out from Lawn Fawn. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to stick, I'm just going to put a little bit on my card. Ooh, I just want to see. I haven't played with this. Ooh. Normally I would do this over a piece of paper. And it's just a little bit, because I don't want it to be the focus. See? And then that's going to dry and just leave behind just a little bit of sparkle. So that is the Lawn Fawn Unicorn Sparkle. So that is an embossing powder, and I don't have my embossing. So I would heat that up, and it's just going to give that little bit of a glittery sparkle. So you can do it many different ways. If you just want to kick it up a little bit of a notch, you've got your glitter gloss, which just gives you that nice little shimmer. You can add little metallic accents with your pens. And then there's always embossing powders. Lawn Fawn has them. Wow has, we all know Wow. Incredible array of different sparkly, beautiful powders. So that is our first card. So I'm just gonna pop it up. Just add a little bit of foam tape. And I'm gonna do it kind of on the fly. Because like I said, you don't wanna watch me apply my foam tape. So that's one card done. You can see how, so I have one with my embossed background. And it just looks a little bit different. Okay, so that is the first one. And I'm encouraging you to not forget, go over to Courtney's page on Tuesday. I would head over there towards the end of the week. I'm sure she'll set up the event and you can add yourself a reminder. I'm thinking she might go live around 9, but I'm not entirely sure. So save this kit. Don't forget about Tuesday, okay? So I just wanted to talk a little bit because we've got this great set of stamps and there's so many possibilities, right? Just gonna grab the stamps here. Now, one thing I did forget to mention, when you are just about to use these, and I'm sure you would have picked up on this, it has a little backing. You don't want to stick your finger in there too deeply or you'll start to hurt the rubber backing there. But you want to peel that off because that has that clingy product there. But leave that on until you're ready to use it. And then you're going to peel that off so it sticks to your stamp block or your stamp platform, whatever you use. And I went with just a block for today. Easy peasy. So this is a beautiful stamp, and I'm so impressed with the quality, because with different companies, sometimes you see it's much more difficult to get that crisp impression. I haven't had a bad impression. So these stamps are really awesome. Just wanted to show you a sample of one that I made with this beautiful wreath. And it was just quick and easy. We all have so many dies sitting in our little stash, so I cut it out of some silver mirror paper, and then it's just about showcasing that stamp, right? And I did a bit of flicking with, I just threw some gesso on there. We could also, if you wanted, if you don't like that, go in there with just a white Signo pen or some sort of pen like that, and just go in and add. So if that's not your cup of tea, there's always a way to kind of add that snowy sort of look. So that is that one. And then this is one that I believe Deanna did in one of her classes that she took a few weeks ago. And it's just a great reminder that it's so easy, especially around the holidays. This would be great for a gift basket. And we do have the stamp in our set. It's super adorable. That's that as well. And you might want to emboss these. You get a very different look if you were to emboss maybe with some gold, go in and add some different colored embossing powders. That's definitely a way to kick it up. And I made this card really quickly. And what I find I like to do at this time of year, and this is from Vicki Boutin. I love her Christmas collection. It's super adorable. If I have some stamp sets that I've kind of fallen in love with, what I will do is make a bunch of cards. So something that's super quick and easy. And we often, I don't know about you, I'm drawn to all of these cut apart sheets. They are just a really great way to make just a quick card. And the lovely thing, what I will often do, because I find, especially at Christmas, like I said, we need a bunch of cards. I will make several card bases, and then I will just do a bunch of stamps. So I might just sit and watch one of my favorite movies and stamp a bunch of impressions like this, and I will literally just one evening sit and I will color them, because then I've got a cute little element. I can then cut it out, I can stick it on my card, and poof, I'm done. So it's a kind of one of those little quick and easy, save your bacon when you need a card kind of things. So I thought we would do, we've got a few more minutes. I thought we would do another card. I'm just gonna set that over there. This one is, again, we're showcasing that stamp. So you've got your base and Happy Holidays. Happy Holidays is in your stamp set. And this is just over some shimmery cardstock. So we're literally just stamping over some shimmery cardstock. It gives it a little bit more of an elegant look. And then I love this right on the craft. I don't know, there's something so rustic about the craft cardstock. So I'm gonna go ahead and color this one. And I'm gonna use a different set. I'm gonna go in, and like I said, I know you don't want to watch me. I'm not gonna do this whole thing, But what I found worked really well was I selected some elements of the some of the branches, and I'm going to go in with a few different shades of green. I found myself really drawn to, I really want to play and make some kind of fun backgrounds. But these pencils are just such a quick and easy, and I am no watercolor artist, but they work for everybody. Set that there. I'm going to go in with a bit of a deeper green. And I'm really excited. I haven't had a chance to really spend much time with the Distress watercolor, but I know many of our customers have purchased those, and I'm so excited to hear the feedback on them. I know some people are really excited about them. So I'm just gonna pull some of my color around here. And I'm okay, especially with this design. This was one I found when I made that one. I pretty much used just one color, but I really wanted to play and add. So if you have these and you haven't played with them, I really urge you to, because there's really no way to mess it up. The only thing you have to lose is maybe you're not going to love what you've created, and then you try it again. So I've added a couple different colors in here, and I'm okay if that color kind of seeps around the edges. That does not offend me. And we're almost done here, so I am not going to, what I would do if I was sitting at home, I'd give this a bit of a dry, and then I'd go in and start adding some different colors in there. I urge you, if you have some stamps at home, they're just kind of sitting there, and you've got a product like this, grab your stamps out and play. You will learn what you enjoy, what works, what doesn't. And it's such a relaxing way to colorize things. So that is Crafty Hour for today. I am really grateful you all hung out with me for an hour. Ooh, and I made a bit of a mess there. If you have followed along, I would love for you to share what you have created, even if you didn't have these kits. I really would love to see what you created while you were sitting here with me. And especially I didn't use every stamp. There are a lot of different stamps, so I would love to see what you have created. And again, just a reminder, Tuesday, go over to Scrapbook and Memories with Courtney, and she will pop on. I would check in maybe on Friday and she'll have created her event. And on Tuesday, Courtney will continue this crafty hour. So thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and we will see you next time. There will be a few more crafty hours coming up, and I'm sure way more beyond that. But watch out, the kits will become available. I know we've already sold out of the Simple Stories Crafty Hour kit. It's a card kit with some enamel dots. If you want to get in on that, please shoot us an email, Langley@Clipper Street, and I'll tack you on to that reorder. Otherwise, we might miss out on that. But thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for watching.